The Soldiers of Ares, Chapter 28. Don Hades, one of the three great powers that governed the world along with his two brothers, the ruler of all the seas and oceans Admiral Poseidon, and the emperor of Olympus himself, God King Zeus. He was definitely not a man to start a war with. Maximus knew he was powerful, but he had no idea that his influence ranged so far, or that he had such unimaginable warriors under him. He knew that Hades was the only ruler who did not have a champion in his army. But with people like the man in black under him, he really didn't need one. Hades, as in one of the three great brothers Hades, the guy who is said to be able to rule the dead Hades, why would local grunts like the dirt picks try to go up against him? Hedger asked. They probably didn't know. They probably just thought that after they recruited enough members that they were the biggest bullies in the playground. They had no way of knowing that the underworld ran all the way to Pluto, Ajax said. Pluto was the name of the country Lord Hades ruled. It was in the southernmost part of the world, and the country was a continent on its own. It had no neighboring countries around it, and was surrounded by water on all sides. The entire continent was sometimes called the Land of Hades, because of his absolute rule there. The entrance to the great prison Tartarus was also somewhere there, but its exact location was unknown, and a closely guarded secret between the three brothers. So, now that you all know the entire story, anybody who still wants me to go up against the undead king, please raise your hand, Hephaestus said. Everyone just sat there silently, and no hands went up. Hephaestus got up and said, "Well, if that's everything, you'll have to excuse me. I have my experiment to, your friend to return to." He left after that, his huge steps shaking the furniture as he walked. "Well, today was exciting, but I think I'll turn in too." "I got to get up early tomorrow to work on your truck," Ajax said. Everyone had started to go off to bed when Maximus said, "Wait, I still haven't eaten anything yet." Ajax scratched his beard and said, "Oh well, we ate dinner long before you came, but just wait here. I'll have the butler bots bring you something. Oh, and take some up to that poor girl too, would you? She could use a bite." Maximus didn't want to deliver food to Mia, but he didn't complain. She was kind of his responsibility. Maximus waited in the hall while the others left for bed. After a few minutes, one of the butler bots brought him his dinner, 6 ham and cheese sandwiches with 2 bottles of cola. He decided to eat in his room after he gave half of it to Mia. Her room was easy enough to find. It was the only other room on their floor with the lights on. He went over and knocked on her door. There was no response. He tried again a few times, but there was still no response. He thought of leaving the food outside, but it seemed like a stupid idea. He tried the door and found it wasn't locked. He wasn't sure about going in, but Ajax was right. She hadn't eaten anything the whole day. He went inside slowly and said, "Hey, the door was unlocked, so I came in." "Go away," she shouted. Maximus didn't spot her at first, and then he saw her huddled up in a corner crying. His first instinct was to leave right then. He had no idea on what to do when someone was upset, but he couldn't. It just didn't feel right. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Oh, I'm just dandy. So why are you here? Come to give me some pity after seeing my mark," she said, barely holding back her tears. Maximus had no idea on what to say, so he just said the first thing that came to his mind. "All right, 2 things. First, I have no idea what that mark is. I'm not that smart, remember?" This got a small smile from her. Reminding her that he was an idiot seemed to have helped. "And second," Maximus continued, "I would never pity you. I might think you're annoying and have cat genes in you. But I would never pity you." Maximus didn't think it would work, but it had. She was wiping away her tears and returning to her normal self. "You think I have cat DNA?" she asked, confused. "I don't know why, but you remind me of a cat. I think it's your tiny nose. You're just missing some whiskers," he said. Mia bonked him on the head with a pillow for this, but he didn't mind. At least she wasn't crying anymore. She came and sat by him on the bed and said, "So why are you here?" "Why, serving you dinner, madam," he said, imitating a butler. "Today's special is ham and cheese sandwiches with sparkling cola. Enjoy." "I'm actually a vegetarian," she said. Maximus opened up a few of the sandwiches and removed the ham from them. Then he handed them to Mia and said, "Okay, just cheese sandwiches then." She accepted these and began to eat. Maximus stuffed the extra ham in his own sandwiches and joined her. "So why don't you eat meat?" "I'm a sorceress, remember, and the magic I do is nature-based. When I eat meat, it disrupts my aura." Maximus nodded like he understood, but he really had no idea what she was talking about. They talked for a bit after that while they ate their dinner, and he told her about the killings around the city. They were getting sleepy now, and Maximus thought it was about time he left. But before he left, he said, "Hey, listen, don't worry about the mark thing, all right? I'm sure no one even knows what it means. Sure, Ajax and Achilles do, but they're like 100 years old. But I'm sure Hedger doesn't. Mia nodded and asked, "Who's Hedger? That green thing you saw flying around earlier. You should like him. He's kind of annoying too," he said with a grin. Mia just stuck her tongue out at him and slammed her door on his face. He went back to his room and straight to sleep after that. This has been a chapter from Book 1 of the new World Odyssey series, The Soldiers of Ares. Links to the books in the bio. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this chapter, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. See you in the next chapter.